Welcome back. So now I'm going to talk about list. And so what exactly is a list, by the way? So let me write down list. Okay. And let's make it a little bit smaller. Turn this into markdown. All right. So list basically it's an ordered. Okay. It's an ordered and it's mutable. Okay. And it's a collection of elements. Collection of elements. So what exactly ordered means? Ordered means like you can say that this is smaller than that. You can have that type of operation. So you can have like greater than or equal to or those types of signs. That's what ordered means. Mutable means that you can actually change. If you recall, strings are not mutable. Like you try to change an element of a string, it gave you an error. But list, which is an ordered sequence, it will not give you that error. It will actually allow you to change. So I'm going to show you that as we go along. All right, so let's run this and let's create another cell. Oops, let's go over here. So how do you create a list? So let's say you want to create a list of numbers, okay? You say numbers equal to, and let's say you create 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. All right. So we created a list of 5 numbers, and those numbers are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So this is a list of numbers or list, sorry, this is a list of integers. And the reason it is a list of integers because see, this is an integer, this is an integer, this is an integer, this is an integer, and this is an integer. So all these elements are integer. So this basically makes it a list of integers. So let me make this thing a little neat and tidy. All right. Oops. What am I doing wrong? Okay. Uh, okay. So let's print. All right. You can print this list and type numbers, and shift enter. When you run this thing, it's going to print 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. All right. So this is one way to actually declare list. Okay. Declaration. All right. Let me just fix the spelling. All right. So this is one way to declare a list. Uh, Another way. There's another way you can actually declare a list. You can actually say, uh, by the way, you can also type. Remember, type what type of this number is. It should give you a list, right? So let's just verify that. So type numbers. So we're just making sure that it's basically a list, that's all. And it gives you the class list. All right, so this is a list. Next, you can also define, you can also declare a list by using this function, inbuilt function called list. And here you would have to use like this list, and you define this in a tuple. Okay, so you basically use this curly, not curly, you this ellipse, this moon-shaped parenthesis. Okay, so you use this moon-shaped parenthesis twice, and that's going to give you another way to define your list. Okay, again, print the type, so you can be absolutely sure that's a list. Okay, and it's a list. All right, so far so good. Uh, you can also create a list from a string. So if I say uh, characters, let's say you want to create a characters, okay, and let's say you type list, okay, and you say hello in there, right? So what it's going to do is going to take this whole string and it's going to take every single individual characters and it's going to create a list of that, okay, and it's going to print. If you do print now characters, so it's going to print your HELLO. Now you see this thing is in quotes, basically saying that this is now in strings. Okay, so this is a string. All right, each one of them. It's not an integer. Okay, so these are different ways you can actually create string. Now, what type of elements exist in a list? Okay, how can you create lists and what type of things you can put inside a list? So let's do that. What type what type of elements can you put in a list? All right, so let's see. Well, let's create my list. Okay, equal to. So anytime when you create a list, this is the most commonly used is square bracket. Okay, so if you look over here, I used a square bracket right there. So you can use a square bracket to create a list. Now you don't have to put anything in it. Okay, if you don't put anything in it, let's print and let's see what it prints for you. Print. Okay, and it should print you nothing. All right, there's nothing inside, it prints nothing. No surprises here. Okay, what if you add some stuff to it? Right, so now we're gonna add some stuff. So you say my list equals to, uh, let's say it's apple. Okay, apple. Then you say banana. All right, and then you say cucumber. So these are the four elements inside your list. Let's run that. Apple, banana, cucumber. Great. So in this case, your list consists of elements that are all strings. Okay. All right. Let's say you want to change your list, or you want to add something else in this. So let's say you want to put booleans in it. You can do that too. Boolean variables. So your boolean variable is true. Okay. Let's say this is true, and this is, let's say, false. All right. You print this thing, it's going to print your boolean variables. True, true, false, true, true, false. All right. What else? You can also you can actually combine them, mix them together if you want. So let's say your list is string, some integer, okay, an integer, let's say 23, and then again some string. You can do that too. You can combine the list, and you see apple, which is a string, and then it takes an integer, and then there is a string. So this particular string actually has a string number, I mean integer number, and then a string. Likewise, you can make it a little complicated. Okay, same thing. You can actually mix many different kinds. 23. You can put 22.4, comma. You can put true, comma. You can put false, comma. Okay, false. So this is your string. So this particular list has a string in it. It has an integer. It has a float value. It also has a boolean values. It has false. It has cucumbers. You see that? It has all these different types of data types in it. And if you print this, it's going to print apple 23, 22.4, true, false, cucumber. All right. Well, you can be a little bit more fancy. What if you want to print a list inside of a list? Can you do that? Well, let's find out. So what can be inside list? Let's experiment. Okay, let's say inside a string you print another, inside a list you print another list. So let's say this list contains, let me make it so that you can understand, 1 comma 2 comma 3, okay, comma, and let's print number, actually let's bring a string now, apple, and then we print banana or banana, right? So I'm actually inside this list, I'm printing a list, okay. I'm also inserting an apple, sorry, not inserting, but basically I'm creating a list. Inside this list I have a list, I have a string, and I have another string. Let's see if it is the right way? The answer is yes, we can do that. You can create a list inside of a list. Uh, can we put, what else can we put inside this? Let's see some more stuff. Can we put uh, a complex number? Well, let's change this right here. Plus 3, 6, actually 6j. This is your complex number. So let's see if this works. And lo and behold, it does. All right. So far, so good. Uh, what else can we do? So can you put two lists inside this? Well, let's see if we can put two lists. Okay, let's put another list, 89, comma, and in this list, I'm going to put another string. Okay, GE, let's call it banana, cucumber. I'm running out of fruits. Let's say avocado, avocado. All right, avocado and comma, and let's say a boolean. Let's run this. And I got an invalid syntax. Perhaps you forgot a comma. Did I forget a comma? So let's say I'm creating this list. Inside this list, I'm putting a list, and then I'm putting another list, and then, oh, right there, yes, there is a comma I'm forgetting. All right. So basically, my list contains three, one, two, three, four different elements. This is your first element. This is your second element. All right. And this is your third element. And this is your fourth element. So the total length of this list is 4. And if I run this, it's going to give me 4. Okay, let's make sure that the length of this list is 4. How do you calculate the length of something? Well, I'm sure you guessed it by now. There's a length function. Okay, length, and then you just say my list, and there you go. And that should give you 4. You see that? 4. So this is how you can measure, you can determine the length of your list. Okay, let's see how we can access elements of a list. So accessing elements, accessing elements. All right. So let's say your numbers are same thing. Let me just do copy and paste. So I don't have to type this whole thing all over again. Where is that? Right there. Control C. All right. So let's say I have a numbers, okay, numbers list, and I want to access just the first number. All right. So this is just similar to your string. Okay. So how you do this thing is, if you want to access the first one, if you remember, this is your zeroth index. Okay. This is index number 0. This is index number 1. This is index number 2, index number 3, index number 4. If you recall, most of the programming languages, what happens is, in those languages now, they actually use these index system. So this, like uh, this right here, oops, I put a big one. Let me decrease the size of this a little bit. Okay, so 20, all right, for 30. So this one is your index 0. This is index 1, and this is your index 3, 2. Okay, index 3 and index 4. That's what that is. Okay, so if I type 0, it's going to print 10. Let's see. And sure enough, it printed 10. What if I want to print the second index? All right, so let's do that. Let's change this to 1, and it's going to print the second element, which is 20. So you can play around. You can do 4. You're going to get 50. What if you do a very big number? Okay, let's make it 34. You know there's no 34. It does not go up to that far. Let's see what it does. And you're going to get list index out of range. Okay, so what if you want to access the last number? Well, if you remember, in string, how do we access the last number? You actually use -1. So use the same principle. You say -1, and that's going to print the last number. Okay, so 10, 30, 50. So this -1 is going to print the last number, whatever that is. Okay, slicing. So let's look at some slicing operations. Slicing. Let's say you want to print. Okay, let's say print numbers 1. If you recall, 1 to 3. So what it does is that it's going to start with index 1, okay, which is, oh, let me write this thing down over here. Okay, 1, which is right here. You go 1, 2, 3. This is your third index number 3. But remember, you don't really, in Python, although we are specifying 3 over there, but it does not really print is not going to really process the index number 3. It's going to process right before that. So this is telling you that it's going to stop right there, but it's not going to process that. Okay, so it's going to do 1, which is index 1, index 2, and index 3. So if I say 4, okay, so let's run this code. It's going to print 20, 30, 40. 20, 30, and 40, because the index 4 would be right here. So you can count index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, index 4, but it never prints, it excludes the this index. All right, okay. Then what if you want to print from beginning, okay, all the way from beginning to, okay, so let's just let me show you. So if you don't specify the first number, okay, if you don't specify the first number, it's going to automatically print, okay, from this beginning of your list. So it's going to print 10. Okay, it's going to start with 10, and how far it's going to go? Up to index 3. Where is your index 3? This is your index 1, index 2, and index 3. It's going to stop right there, but it's going to exclude this index. Remember, it excludes the 3. So it's going to print 10 and 20. Let's verify that. And 10, 20, 30. Oh, I'm sorry. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. This is your index 3. Okay. This starts with 0. I made a mistake. So index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. This is your index 3. So it prints 10, 20, 30. And that's how you come across this 10, 20, 30. Okay. What if you want to print from index 2 all the way up to end? Okay. So let's do that. Index 2. Okay. And if you don't specify the last position, okay, so what it's going to do, it's going to start from index 2. That means this is your index 1, sorry, index 0, index 1, and this is your index 2. So it's going to start from here, and it's going to go all the way at the end. So if you run this thing, it's going to print 30, 40, 50. You see, 30, 40, 50. All right? Okay. What? What if I type like this? Print numbers, colon, colon, 2. All right? So it's saying that start from the beginning all the way to end. Remember, if you recall, like if you don't specify, if you have these 2 colon notations, and if you don't specify the numbers over there, that means you start from the beginning, go at the end, and your step size is 2. So if you look at this list, let's start with, actually, let me just make this a little bit big. Actually, yeah, this is good. So it's going to print, it's going to start from here, step size 2. That means 1 and 2. So it's going to print 30, okay? And then 1 and 2 is going to print 50. Again, what's happening over here is that it's going to start with 10, okay? Start with 10, which is right here. This is your beginning position. And then it's going to go step 1, and step 2, right? Because of this 2, it's going to print 30, all right? And then it's going to go 1 and 2 again because of this 2, it's going to print 50. So it's going to print 10, 30, and 50. All right, let's verify that. Run this, and yep, 10, 30, 50. See, 10, 30, 50. Okay, so this is how, this is called slicing. Okay, you can also reverse your strings. Okay, print numbers, and then you say -1. What -1 is going to do, it's going to reverse it's going to basically print the last number, the last digit. Okay, when you run this thing, it's going to print 50. All right. Okay. Uh, what so these are called, what we have been doing is slicing. Okay. What if I change this and I say colon colon -1? So basically, I'm saying start from beginning to the end, and then you start, you go backward one step. Okay. Let's see what it does. It's going to reverse the string 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. So it's going to start from here 50, then next is going to be 40, and then next is going to be 30. You see 30, and then 20 and 10. So basically what's happening is just reversing the string. These are kind of like handy tools. And so when you have to reverse a string, you can actually use these little tools. So they're very helpful. Okay, next topic, list modification. You can also use, you can also actually modify the list. Okay, so list modification, list modification. Okay, so let's say you have numbers. Okay, same thing. Let's start with this same one. Numbers is this. All right, and you want to add to something to this list. All right, so let's say you say numbers dot append. So the word is append. Okay, so append, what it does, it's going to add that whatever you want to add to the last. This is important. It's going to add to the last. That's what the word append means. So it's going to append 17 to the numbers. So let's print this. Okay, numbers. And when you run this code, you're going to see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then 17 because we appended 17. So it's appended this at the end. So the word append actually has, you see there's a word end in it. So basically saying that add this to the end, okay? All right. You can also insert an element at a certain index, okay? So let's say, same one. I want to insert, okay? Oops. I want to insert, I want to insert a number at index 3, okay? And the number I want to put is 25. So what's happening is, insert is a method and it accepts two arguments. The first argument has to be which index are you inserting that number at? And the second one needs to be what number you're inserting. So see, your index is 0 right there, index is 1, and index is 2, and index is 3. So at this index, which is 40, okay, at this index, which is your 40, you wanted to insert 25. All right, so let's see what it does. And there you go. So 10, 20, 30, and you see that the third index. So at 3, which is right before that, it inserts 25. Okay, if I change this, let's say to 2, right? So it's going to insert 25 at index 2. So this is your index 0, index 1, and index 2. So over here, it's going to insert 25. By the way, it does not overwrite that, okay? So all these numbers, they just shift this way. And when you run this thing, you see 10, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50. So all it's doing is inserting it. It's not replacing it. All right, this is important. Okay, remove. What if you want to remove some number? Well, if you want to remove, there is a remove function. I'm sure you must have figured that out by yourself. So let's say you want to remove a number, and the number, let's say you want to remove is 50. Okay, so what it's going to do is going to, wherever the 50 exists over here, it's going to remove that. And there you will see 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 is gone. It has removed that. So it actually works on actual numbers. All right. Then what if you want to pop a number? Okay. So let's say you want to remove a certain index. Okay. So let's say you want to remove this one, this index. So let's do that. We can do that one too. So there is a method called pop. Okay. And the way pop works, and pop, what it does, it's going to remove that index. So you have to specify index over here. This is important. So let's say you want to remove this third number. So this is your 0, 1, 2. So this is your 2 and 3. So your third number is going to be first, second, third, which is this number. This is your third number. And what is the index over here? 0, 1, 2. Index is 2. So say numbers 2 got pop 2. And that's going to remove this 30. So let's run this. And you see that 10, 20, 30 is gone. You can pop 4. Okay. So 4 would be the index 4, which is would be this one, 50. It's going to remove that. And you see that it removed that. Okay. Now you can also have an assignment. Okay. So let's say you want to put a number in the beginning of a list. You can also do that. This is called assignment. All right. So let's say you're going to put a number in the beginning. And the way you do this thing is insert. Okay. And then you specify where exactly you want to insert. You want to insert at 0. All right. Comma. And what number do you want to put? -6. Now, did I? Oh, yeah. Insert is there actually. I did show it insert. Okay. So you can insert that number. This actually is a rerun. I just realized that. All right. So you can insert a number, run this, and you see it's going to put that number in the beginning. Okay. You can, now remember, the list is a mutable. Okay. So this is important. List is mutable. What it means is that you can change the elements of a list. So let's go over here, numbers, and you can say like this. You can start. You can say numbers, and then let's say the index is 2, and you want to change that to 25. Okay, so what basically happening? This is index 0, this is index 1, and index 2. Right there, 30. So I'm changing 30 to 25. This is what's happening over here. This is called assignment. Okay, I'm just assigning 25 to this number 2 over here. So print this thing out, and you're going to get 10, 20, 25. You see that? So this 30 is gone, and it's been replaced by 25 now. Okay. Now, there's some difference between append and extend. So I just want to tell you a little bit about append and extend. Difference between append and extend. All right. So let's say you have fruits, okay? Fruits equal to apple, banana, okay? Apple, banana, and you fruits. Oops, sorry. fruits dot append. All right, cherry, cherry, and let's say date. All right, date, and print fruits. All right, run this thing. So you have apple, banana, and cherry and date. So in append, what happened was I had this list. Inside this list, I have appended another list. Okay, so this is what happened with append. On the other hand, when I do extend, okay, same thing. If I do extend, all I have to do is just remove this. Okay, all right, extend, extend, run this, and it's gonna do apple, banana, cherry, date. So the difference between append and extend is this append basically is gonna add or it's gonna append whatever is inside this curly and in this round inside this round bracket. Okay. On the other hand, extend will actually unpack these values. Okay, it's going to unpack it and it's going to put it inside this. So it's going to say apple, banana, and whatever is inside the extend, it's going to take all these values, unpack it, and put it inside that. So this is the difference between your extend and append.